Words on paper are very, very expensive. Your girl's on a budget, so. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey and I like to read a little bit, if you can't tell. Today we are going to be talking about my instant buy authors. And here's the thing, it's not just instant buy authors, it is also instant read authors. Because as we know, we read on a budget here. If you don't know, that's what we do, okay? We try to read wisely. I utilize Kindle Unlimited a lot. I also save books. If I really love them, I save them in my Amazon cart for later so that I can buy them when I can afford them. Because books are expensive. Words on paper are very, very expensive. And your girl's on a budget. So getting right into it, there are authors that obviously we all love above all else, okay? I know that there are some authors that I will, as soon as I see that they have something new coming out, I will immediately add to cart, immediately add to my list so that I know when it's coming out. I will watch for it. I am anticipating it. I am excited. If I enjoy every single book, if I have a good time in every single book, if I like their writing style, you know, they may have one that I don't like. I don't know. These are just my favorite authors. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how to convey what I'm trying to say. You get it, I'm sure. It's just not, my brain's not braining today. Okay, just bear with me. It's been a very long week. I am tired. I was supposed to film this video like 3 days ago, but life said, I don't care what you want, Bailey. And I said, fine, cool. I'm tired. But we're gonna talk about these authors because they deserve all the love. I could not do what they do. The fact that people spend time writing down their feelings and emotions and stories and then put it out in the world for all to judge is absolutely insane to me. Brave, okay? Very brave, because people can be very mean. So let's get into my favorites. First is going to be Miss Jessa Hastings. I have an entire shelf dedicated, let's grab one, hold on. I have an entire shelf dedicated to her books. Every single copy that I have been able to find is on my shelf. I mean, I've got 2 copies of Never, and I've got all of the, hold on. Can you please get in there? Thank you so much. I have every single copy of the, is my brain braining, Bailey? I have every single copy that I could get my hands on of her books, and I adore her. Jessa Hastings has such a poetic way of getting across emotion. She has such a poetic way of describing places, things, outfits, feelings, you name it. It's just, her writing is absolutely beautiful, and I have never read a Jessa Hastings book that I do not like. I know a lot of people did not like Never because they did not expect what they got going into it, but here's the thing, Jessa said, read the original Peter Pan first. You're not gonna like Peter. And plus, Jessa Hastings writes characters that we don't like or don't enjoy at first, right? They're flawed. They are not perfect characters. You get to watch them grow throughout the series that she writes. And I love that because it makes me feel more valid because I am not perfect and I make mistakes. And I just, God, I love her. God, I love her. I will literally consume and purchase anything that Jessa Hastings writes. Anything. I don't care what it is. She could write a grocery list and I would read it. You know what? All of these authors that I'm about to mention, they could write a grocery list and I would read it. I would pay to read it. Thank you. And then we have Nicole Fiorina. Nicole Fiorina, can I grab you? Hello. She wrote the Tales of Weeping Hollow series, and she also wrote the Stay With Me series trilogy. Stay With Me is a trilogy, not a series. But this is my favorite. This one. No, there's only 2 books out in this series right now, the Tales of Weeping Hollow series. The Stay With Me trilogy is finished. I have read both. I loved both, but I love this one more. She is another one that is just poetic in every single thing that she writes, okay? She is phenomenal at making you feel, in my opinion. I love her writing. She gives very like Edgar Allan Poe-esque, like spooky gothic vibes. Okay, and she's gonna write books with hard-hitting topics in them. And God knows that she does, especially the Stay With Me trilogy. This one was romance and witchy and like a town that is Halloween 24/7, whereas Stay With Me was more of they're in a mental institution that's kind of like a college. It's like a reformatory type institution in the UK, and you meet Mia and Oliver and they fall in love and different things try to keep them apart. He feels too much, she feels too little, yin and yang type vibes. God, it's so good. Both series are absolutely fantastic. Literally anything that this woman writes, I will read. I am obsessed with her. She is, God, she's just one of those authors that was born to write. You know what I mean? Speaking of authors that were just born to write, we have, can I read it? Miss Carrie Lake. Miss Carrie Lake is next. Ugh, I love her. And I'm just realizing that a lot of my favorite authors are like gothic-y. Like the vibes that they write in these books are more on the lines of like dark, moody, like that kind of vibe. And this was one of my favorite reads of last year. This is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. Now, have I loved every single one of her books? No. There were 2, I think, that I didn't love as much as I loved the rest. But when I say I will literally read anything this woman writes, I mean it. She has a new book. Do you hear the airplane? There's an airplane flying over my house right now. That is so rude, sir, ma'am, whoever you are. I don't remember what I was saying. But Carrie Lake is absolutely fantastic. She has a new book coming out. I think it's called Anthema. I have already added it to my TBR because it is spooky gothic vibes and I just love Carrie Lake. I love her. I will literally add anything to cart that she writes. Also, another thing about Carrie Lake is she's gonna write a slow burn, okay? And when it burns, it's gonna burn so hot. You have to wait till probably, in most of her books, probably about 60 to 70% in order to get to the spicier stuff, but it is so worth it. I love when the tensions, and Carrie Lake knows how to write some tension. And then we've got Miss Sophie Lark, of course. If there's one thing about Sophie Lark, it's gonna be that she is going to pull you out of a reading slump. That is usually my go-to with Sophie. I will read one of her books if I need to be pulled out. Although I did binge read the Kingmaker series, I could not help it. I could not help it. That was my first, Brutal Prince was my first book by her, and it was just so good. Enemies to lovers. Like, they were actual enemies, okay? And you know, a lot of people say that some books are enemies to lovers and the enemies are not enemying. That is so annoying. I want them to hate each other. I want them to not like each other, not one bit. I want them to try to each other, and that is exactly what they did. But this, Anastasia, is in fact my favorite book by her, so much so that I had to order a signed copy. That is her name. Do you see it? Obsessed. I love this book. This is an Anastasia retelling with a little bit of magic. It is also her longest book and the only book she has of the sort. I think this is her only like dip into magic that she ever did, and it was perfect in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it because it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very character driven, but I love character driven books. So it was my favorite. Also, Grimstone is another one that's on my shelf and I loved that book. Anything Sophie Lark writes, can you speak, is going to be entertaining. I have never been disappointed by one of her books, ever. Sophie is just a wonderful human being. Why do I always hit myself in the face with books? Why do I do that? Rude. But Sophie is just a wonderful human too. And that just makes it even better whenever one of your instant buy authors is just a good person. Another instant buy author of mine is Miss Emily Henry. We love Emily Henry here. Yes, I know I'm missing Funny Story. I keep mixing up the names Funny Story and Happy Place. I don't know why. And I need the paperback copy of Happy Place. This makes me uncomfortable. I have read every single Emily Henry book and I have enjoyed every single Emily Henry book. Honestly, okay, let's rank them while we're here. While I have them, let's rank them. So, I think my least favorite is probably going to be Beach Read. I'm so sorry. Beach Read is my least favorite Emily Henry book. And then we've got People We Meet on Vacation, okay? This is number 4. Don't come for me. And then we've got Book Lovers. I love them all, but this is just the order. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot of people's number 1. It's their favorite, but it was my 3rd favorite. And then we've got Funny Story and then Happy Place. This one just hit different for me. Okay, I loved it. I tabbed the shit out of it. So wonderful. But Emily Henry could literally, I don't care what she writes, I'll read it. It's just very entertaining. And I really liked how Funny Story was a little bit different than the rest of the books she's written. I feel like it was more of a contemporary romance than a literary fiction or a literary fiction romance. I don't know. I felt like it was more fun than the rest of her books. That's just my opinion though. I really enjoyed it. So we love Miss Emily Henry around here. And then we've got Miss Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have every single Taylor Jenkins Reid book up there. You cannot see it. Hello. But it is up there, I promise. The only one that I have not read is Carrie Soto is Back, because I do not want to be able to say that I have read all of her books. You know, she hasn't published a book in a really long time. I think it's been 2 years. Has it been 2 years since she released Carrie Soto? Like, you can answer me. Has it been 2 years since she released Carrie Soto? Please tell me. But yeah, no, I have read every single one except for that one, and I have loved every single one except for that one. I have read most of them in one day because I loved them so much. My favorite being Daisy Jones and the Six and the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but mostly Daisy Jones and the Six because I'm a Fleetwood Mac girly. In the show, if you have not watched the show, please go watch the show. It's absolutely fantastic. The characters were perfect. The soundtrack was perfect. Everything about it was perfect. The cinematography was perfect. I just love it so much. An honorable mention to Kate Stewart. I have not read every single book Kate Stewart has put out. I am working my way through her list. But Kate Stewart is another one of those authors that I feel like was just born to write, because every single thing that I have read of hers, I have loved. That's a lie. I just lied to you. In the Flock series, the third book, The Finish Line, that's the name of that one. About halfway through, I started skimming. I finished it, but I started skimming a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm a Dom girly, and if you know, you know. I'm not gonna say too much about it just in case someone hasn't read the Ravenhood trilogy. But, yeah, no, I'm a Dom girly, so I didn't really like Finish Line as much. First two books, sad, great, wonderful, love them, hot, all the things. My favorite book by her, though, by Kate Stewart, is going to be Drive. Rockstar romances get me. They do something to me. I don't know what it is. It makes my little punk rock heart happy. Gets me every time. So Kate Stewart, thank you for your service. And then an obvious one, of course, I don't need to go into detail about this, but Sarah J. Maas, I'm sure you can see the shelf. Yes, I am working on getting every single copy of those. Throne of Glass is the best. You can't change my mind. That's all I'll say. I'm sure that there are some that I am not mentioning, but for some reason my brain is not braining. But these are my instant read, instant buy authors. If they publish it, if they put it out there into the world for me to get my grubby little hands on, I'm going to inhale it. I'm going to read it. I'm going to most likely enjoy it. I am addicted to their books. Cannot help it. If y'all have any instant read authors that y'all think that I should try out, please tell me. Please, please, please tell me, because I'm always looking for a new author to get into. There are so many amazing authors out there, and I mean, kudos to them. Like I said at the beginning, I cannot even imagine putting my feelings like that out there and letting people rate it, you know? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I could never. The fact that these stories come out of their brains is absolutely insane. Mind-boggling. It's crazy, crazy. But yeah, no, these are just mine. So I hope you love them. And if you haven't read some of these authors before, I hope that it gets you started in that general direction, because I love them so much. I love all of them so much. I would literally sell my left toe, I don't know which one, just one of them, to be able to meet them. But alas, I haven't yet, so I don't know what I'm saying. I hope that y'all have an amazing week, okay? It's gonna be a great week. We're all gonna power through. We're gonna get to read. We're gonna meet our reading goals for the week. We are going to escape for the week into our books. That's what I'm about to do once I finish recording this video, I'll tell you that much. I'm currently reading, in case you were wondering, what am I currently reading? Midnight Valentine by J.T. Geisinger, and I am liking it so far. Not loving it quite yet, but that is typical for a J.T. Geisinger book, but I am in it. Okay, I think I'm like 20% of the way through. I started it last night and then I passed out. My eyes were going like this. Anyways, it's gonna be a great week. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much, and I can't wait to see y'all next week.